Oh, hey everybody. We're going to be just talking about the legendary items themselves / legendary quests and how they could possibly be improved in a quick little discussion. About 2 days ago, MMO Champion released a poll that showed a percentage of who's completed which chapters in the legendary quest line. You had a big influx in Chapter 1 when everything was fresh, everyone was excited and happy, they wanted that ring, they were willing to go in and do what they had to do to get it. And by the end for Chapter 4, it dropped down exponentially. It was 67% for the Chapter 1, 51 for Chapter 2, 35 for Chapter 3, and then 17 for Chapter 4. Now, this could be attributed to a new expansion being announced, so current content becomes irrelevant. It could also be attributed to what you have to do to get these rings, which is grindy and obnoxious. So let's just take like a quick little glance at what's going on here and why they're really so bad. So the legendary quest lines, they're cool in the sense that you get some cool lore and story and you really feel like you're part of it. Unfortunately, everybody else also does that, so it takes away the allure of the legendary. It's not so much a legendary anymore because everybody has one. Should it be a legendary? No, it should be possibly like an epic or some type of unique ring that's yours, but I wouldn't classify it as legendary because you went through all this trouble to get it. What makes something legendary is that there's one of it, or it's so rare that, yes, multiple people can get it, like the Warglaves, but there's not millions of people who have them. Even now, when it's, 8 years past Burning Crusade maybe? Math isn't my strong point, and I'm not doing math right now. It's late at night. Still, thousands of people might have the Warglaves across every server across the planet. That's still chump change in the millions of subscribers. Everybody has this ring. There's nothing unique about this ring. How many people have the legendary axe from Icecrown? Not that many. That thing's a pain in the ass to get, and some people just give up. You know, even the easier legendaries, like the one from Ulduar, that's probably, in my opinion, out of all the legendary quests to get a unique legendary, the easiest one, and a lot of people still don't really have that. My guild leader has been just going for it casually because he's like, whatever, you know, it's just something to do when you're bored. So legendaries themselves have just become this convoluted thing that everybody has, and it's one of those things that have been introduced to make everybody feel like a special snowflake, and when everybody's special, nobody is. That's a quote from The Incredibles because Pixar is just that deep. And that's such a brutal quote, but it's true. You don't stand out. You just have this buff. All it is another buff now with the new ring. It's kind of lackluster. Why don't people want to continue doing these quest lines? Because they're grindy? No, that's one thing. Because the story is lacking? It could be. I don't think the story was terrible in this expansion. I don't think the story for the Legendary Cloak was terrible. I think that one was really interesting. If I had to gauge, the Legendary Cloak was a little better. The one in Warlords definitely fell off. It wasn't amazing. But there was some cool stuff. You got to interact with some cool lore characters and whatnot. But most of it was collection quests followed by quick little channeling thing. It started out strong with the hunt for the dragon. Forgot his name. You know, Korazdamu or whatever, you know, the guy who helped Garrosh. You follow him to that area, you gotta fight him in like a little 3-man raid with Khadgar and Chromie, which is really, that was a cool little event. But you don't really get anything that stands up to that again. Even chasing Garona was nothing special. So the quest itself is a little lackluster. And to even get the quest rewards and get things along those lines, you have to grind so much that it's painful. And it was painful in Mists of Pandaria. It took a long time as well. So it was problematic there too. Don't think that I'm just crapping on Warlords here. But it was painful. Getting the Abjugator Stones was really annoying. And then after you get the Abjugator Stones, you have to get the stones from Blackrock Foundry. And for some reason, it's like, oh, you only need 3 of them. But you have to collect 300 to get 1. So it just seemed that much worse. And the drop rate just seemed crappy. And not getting them off of every boss, it just was so grindy. And then to wrap it up, you gotta get these stupid tomes out of Hellfire Citadel, which is just annoying. This breeds a big problem. Are you a Mythic Raider? Well, you're gonna be in there every week and you're gonna be getting the gear. And you're gonna be getting the tomes. It's just part of your life. Are you a normal mode raider who is in a raiding guild who's doing normal modes and possibly heroics? Same scenario for you. You have access to them. Are you an individual who sometimes does a normal raid when you have some free time, but you kind of just hit LFR to see what the raid looks like, maybe just get some story aspects? Is that what you do? Well, guess what? You're only going to do LFR because you're guaranteed to kill all the bosses. That gives you a better chance of getting the tomes. Whereas if you join a pre-made group out of the group finder, you might not even kill one boss and then you just wasted an hour. So it forces dependency on LFR, which is a whole nother topic that we can touch on at some other point in time, because LFR is just painful and hurts. So you lose uniqueness. It's super grindy, forces dependence on LFR, and it's just not fun to play at all. One thing that really I think can improve the legendary aspect of the game is, first off, you remove legendary quests and you make them go back to old school ways, like how you would get Thunder Fury or Sulphurous. Those were cool. You have to craft them. It takes a long time. It really makes you a unique person for getting that. You have an achievement that somebody else doesn't have. Secondly, if you want to include this story in the game, which I totally am all for, I love lore and I love the story of this game, so I don't want them to take out the story aspects or the storytelling aspect. What they can do is they can do something similar to the Lore Walkers maybe, and have it so that as you do certain things, you unlock parts of the quest, or you unlock a quest that sends you to do a bunch of things. Or maybe you do it in like short bursts. Every single patch you get like a 6 or 7 quest long quest chain that culminates in something really unique that's soloable content, or you can do it as a group. That way, in case you want to do it with your friends. With the scaling technology, I don't really think that that's something that's super outlandish. But that would be the best way to keep lore and story in the game without tacking it on to this legendary shit show that forces people to do gameplay that they just don't want to do because it's grindy. Give them the option and they will always take the option that's just optional. I said optional a lot there, didn't I? I totally did. But it's true. Everybody's going to take the option that they can do on their own, and it's not dependent on jumping in LFR or trying to go into a raid, which is more difficult than being able to solo content. Even if it's some level of collection that you have to do, but it's soloable content, then there you go. You've now given somebody content to do where they have 15 minutes to just chill in game and do something. They can go out and they can mine nodes that would give them this item they need, or something along those lines. But that's all I really have to say on this particular topic. It kind of became a little long-winded, but I just kind of wanted to touch on it real quick and get a video out there for you guys, because I'm a little bogged down with stuff right now. I need consistency in videos. So let me know what you think about this topic. I think it's kind of unanimous. Most people seem to agree with this viewpoint that the legendary quest line is just kind of there for cannon fodder and it's not necessary anymore and it's just whatever. So let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, take it easy.